Yes guys, so I just got word. Welcome once again to one of Mystelics vlogs, guys. I just got word on what took place involving the plane and the pilot, and of course the pilot was brought to Marigot and he was then pronounced dead by a doctor there. So unfortunately for him, did not make it, but thank God they found the plane, so at least they can of course send him back to his family to at least say the final farewell to him. So unfortunate for that. However, down in Anguilla, guys, of course, I'm not sure if you guys know about the incident that took place involving a high profile white man who murdered, well, it is said that it was manslaughter. That individual came for vacation with his family and he took the Dominican guy who was in his hotel as a thief. He said he came to rob him and ended up in a little squabble whereby he strangled the individual. He was taken from the hotel and they are heading to put him in prison after the whole incident.
Yeah, here's the gentleman being escorted to prison.
My number is 5810705. Send it to me one time. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. And I hope that is just not a show.
There he goes.
44-year-old American male charged for manslaughter. This was at the Royal Anguilla Police Force, that's what they said. And Gavin Scott Hapgood, 44-year-old male, was arrested and charged for the offense of manslaughter. Hapgood appeared before the magistrate court Wednesday, April 17th, where an application was made for bail on his behalf. Upon hearing the application, bail was denied and Mr. Hapgood was remanded to Her Majesty Prison to return to court on Thursday, August 22nd, 2019. The RAPF, Royal Anguilla Police Force, would like to remind the public that the defendant is entitled to a fair trial. There is a presumption of innocence until proven guilty, which of course I don't think there's any innocentness in this. This guy killed the other guy. So I don't know how they're gonna twist the law books on this one, but nothing would be stated or published which would prejudice of fair trial taking place, which is why a lot of the people were kind of angry. But I'm thinking to myself, this guy killed another guy thinking the guy was about to rob him, but the guy actually had his uniform on and he was doing maintenance. I'm not sure if the family was told that maintenance was gonna be taking place or whatnot. Apparently this guy must have taken a stance where he thought he was being robbed. But if you're being robbed, wouldn't you try to call the police or call the hotel or something of that sort? I mean, none of that happened. You strangled the guy. I actually have the death certificate here as well, and that was brought up by Dr. Stephen King. Death certificate is reading the first cause of death, as they said, was prone restraint. I mean, it was held down. Positional asphyxia. That means, you know, strangulation. And blunt force trauma, head, neck, and torso. Blows to his head, neck, and to his torso, which would indicate that there was some type of fight going on or some kind of thing like that. So this is why this guy had to be taken to jail. However, why people are kind of vexed about the whole situation is because later on, that is one of the things that I was hearing the individual, a police actually saying that took place in the court. I think it was Tommy Astafan, not Tony Astafan. Tommy Astafan, they utilized the case of a Canadian who raped a Canadian girl and he was sentenced to jail and he was denied bail. The reason for that, however, was as a result of what took place after the hurricane had hit Anguilla, and they figured that the students were gone, everybody were gone, so they decided to let the guy go. But they then used that case to say, okay, you allowed him to go for him to come back at a later date. Why can't you then let my client go? So I think they used that in the court where they were then able to say, okay, we will grant him bail, and he did get bail on this regard. But there was this whole hoopla involving, hey, he's a flight risk individual, how can you let him go, and all these things. And that was actually at a different time, a different case. It shouldn't have been where you let him go and he will just fly back to his country. But one thing I asked the individual about was if they would grant him bail but hold his passport, because you can grant bail but you have to turn in your documents. So yeah guys, so I just got the information. I was just on my phone there trying to figure out if he had taken the flight out, because there was this whole hoopla saying last night that there was sort of like a decoy taking place last night to maybe fool the people into thinking that bail was not granted or whatever, but bail was granted for him. And today I actually have a video of him leaving to go on jet to head out, which means that they didn't take his passport, they didn't take his documents. If it's your own jet, would you need documents for you to fly out? Seeing this guy, I gotta lie, I'm seeing this guy leaving, and one thing that comes to mind is privilege. Rich white privilege. Having the ability to just walk out on a murder case, or a manslaughter case, and giving the hope that yes, maybe I will return or not. One of the things that one of the police was telling me, that this guy is loaded with a lot of money, so $200,000 is nothing for him. This is pocket change. He could leave this there and just decide he's not gonna go back. Let me just read this for you guys. So he did not leave the same day. However, it was informed that the accused was represented by a legal counsel, filed an application for bail for a cash bond in the High Court. The judge granted him a bail in the sum of $200,000 US. EC actually, not even US. Now, I'm reading further along that they're saying that the police inspector had no objection to the bail. After 25 minutes of adjournment, the magistrate Keithley Benjamin stated the charge of manslaughter is a serious offense. He noted the court has a discretion on the matter, and while there may be good reason for bail to be granted, the court has to balance the interests of the person charged, public interest, and the interests of justice, the interests of the one who was murdered. What about the interests of the family of the victim? What did the guy do to render such an offense? Even if he was robbing, the guy was not armed. You literally killed the guy, and yet you are walking out of Anguilla without any shackles, nothing like that on you, heading to your plane for you to head back to the United States. You don't even have to come back to Anguilla for any case whatsoever. This is the state that we are in. And another thing that the police was telling me is that there are a number of persons on remand, and they're still there 5, 6 years, 7 years, who haven't still had the case yet. They haven't had the case yet. Yet you have an individual, a tourist coming down to a country to enjoy the country, ended up murdering an innocent individual, a Dominican. The charge is read as manslaughter. But this is very, very sad. What about the family? What about justice for the family? This guy doesn't even have to come back to Anguilla at all. And there will literally be no justice for this guy at all. No justice for him. This guy was a husband. Myles is a husband, a father, son, and friend who went to work and didn't come back. So where is the justice for this guy? It is rather interesting that people always cry for justice and saying that justice, the system is somehow just, when that just system doesn't always apply to everyone equally. Yes, he's rich, and yes, he might be a thing in prison. So yes, I understand that part, but you should receive the same thing. It's really an interesting case. Well, not really interesting. To me, it's pretty obvious when I'm looking at this case and seeing how things are going. There were a lot of Dominicans outside the courthouse just waiting to see what was going on, and they kept making decoys and all kind of things to protect the guy. But the guy just killed someone. He just killed someone, and we are seeing him walking out. I don't know if you guys understand what I'm saying. This guy is literally walking out of Anguilla after killing someone. He killed a Dominican, Myles Mitchel. Guys, what are your thoughts in this incident, man? This guy, he has to come back to Anguilla on the 22nd of August. I honestly don't think he will come back because the guy walked out. He literally walked out. Guys, what are your thoughts in this regard, man? Let me know in the comment box below. But something needs to be done. Something definitely needs to be done because of it. Just because you have money, and just because you might have pull strings to get the best lawyers or whatever in the area, means that's okay. It literally happened. He killed someone. What about the justice for the person that you killed? Guys, let me know your thoughts in this regard. Let me know your thoughts, man. Anyways, guys, about Mystelics on the Mystelics Vlogs. Sympathies goes out to Mr. Myles Mitchel. May your soul rest in peace, bro. And condolences to the family of Mr. Mitchel. Tell all the dirty rap people them, stop their dirty ways.